What's good, family? Shout out to Trail. Trail say cut that mic on, man. Yeah, I got the mic on. Got a little show for y'all today. I'm gonna go over the poverty pimps. I'm gonna also go over. I'm gonna also go over the black media. As Black Truth, he put out some good information about why it's so important to control and own our own media. As we seen in my videos, I've been going over some stuff that y'all been seeing, and we've been like, yeah, we need it. We need our own media. We need our own everything. But we're just going to some stuff today. Check out a little bit of introvert. Check out some. I got some good stuff for us today. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Trail, man. Tania, appreciate you tapping in. I'm going early today. I just was like, man, I got to put some of this stuff out there. Man, we had a crazy. It's been a crazy day today, man, with the young thug. That's crazy. That whole situation. I want to go over that too, but I made some videos on it. But definitely, I got some videos I'm finna play. I want to open up these lines, but man, that young scooter incident just got me so. It got me a little upset to know he died like that. Shout out to everybody, man, that coming in. I'm gonna wait till we get some more people in, but yeah, I'm gonna go over a lot today, man. I'm gonna do a little bit of the Willie Lynch at the end. It's been crazy today, but Sauce Walker, Sauce Walker has been he's celebrating his partner death. I thought that was real weird, the little double cross. But let's get into what Truth's saying right here before I get into this and get everything warmed up. But I'm gonna check out Introvert, man. He did something on SAP. I gotta tap in on him. But peace and love to the family. Y'all know how we do. Always pushing health, wealth, better understanding the self, and giving praises to the Most High. Matter of fact, let me tap into the right now. Let me tap into Introvert, man. Let me put that up because he just did one on. He just did one on the biggest poverty pimp right now, Marvin. Hmm. So check this out. Let me put this on. We in the YouTube streets right now. So check this out. This introvert man playing in this poverty pimp. I want to see what he
And
got.
look, I was going to play the recent interview he had with Ricky Smiley, but I don't think Ricky Smiley going to like this video because you have to sit back and think about it. The CIA always use these type of black people to hold our community back. For example, in the 80s, what you had, they put crack in the black community. In the 90s, what you had, they attacked hip hop. And I'm going to just be honest, I think black pastors have always worked for the CIA. And if you have a black pastor that great, he care about his people, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about those Marvin Sappies that's continue to robbing our people and selling our people hope. But we'll get into that CIA talk later on in this video. In the meantime, let's get into this article so I can show y'all the cold games these agents really play on our people. And this article is by USA Today. It was published March 31st, 2025 at 3:42 p.m., which was yesterday. Gospel star Marvin Sapp says he received threats after viral close the doors video resurfaced. Bishop Marvin Sapp says he received death threats as a
Dang,
result of the resurfaced viral clip
peace and
where he
love.
ordered ushers to close the doors at an international church convention
Shout out
while
Nikki.
rallying
Appreciate you
for the congregation to donate
tapping in with me.
40K. During an interview on the Ricky Smiley Show on
Got
Monday,
a
the
good one
Grammy
today.
nominated
Salute, Grace
gospel
here.
artist called the situation a misunderstanding. Make that make sense.
Man, I got a good one
But
for
said he was little more assertive than I should have been. While raising funds for the convention, he added that the reaction to the video has led to safety.
Now, they did all stick together. I don't know if y'all know that, but all of the pastors kind of like stuck together on this. They wanted to make sure that they don't leak out or they don't have no, they want to keep that funding coming in. So they definitely all stick together, supported Marvin Sapp, but we know that this is a pimping that's done in the community. Let me let introvert rock.
Concerns. And look, I don't condone harming anyone, but bro, when you hold people hostage, when people can see you using God's name to manipulate people, what you think gonna happen? Marvin Sappy, I'm gonna tell you this: you have people in the world that can see through your BS. You might can fool a lot of those church people, but a lot of people been out of that church zone for a long time because they can
Straight
see
up.
through the BS. And hold up. As a man, as a supposed leader, as a preacher, you telling me you scared? You going on a radio show saying you scared? No, don't be scared now. You got to stand on business. What did Malcolm X say when they was threatening him, when they was bombing his house? What did Malcolm X say?
No, I don't worry. I tell you, I'm a man who believed that I died 20 years ago, and I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear whatsoever of anybody or anything.
So pull your skirt down, be toughen up. You sounded real tough.
Shout out to him. And check this out. I was in the comment section on Young Thug had said, hey man, he feels that the DA, the police, has been they lying. And somebody in the comment section said Young Thug shouldn't be saying this because the police may arrest him. I can't stand people like that out there who they want to silence us. They don't have no ties to these big corporations or these people, but they'll get in our comment section and saying, hey, you shouldn't be saying this. It's dangerous to talk like this. We don't want to hear that, bro. We really standing on business for our people. We don't care about the ones that's scared. If you scared to say things, you need to just stay over there. But there are people that they get into your comment sections and they tell you to be like you supposed to be scared because you speaking up on what's right.
When you told them to lock them doors and don't let anyone out, you sounded really tough then. So pull your skirt down. Nobody got time for that whining. You talking about you scared? Make that make sense. Talking about it's a misunderstanding. What? People have called my church and cussed me out. My staff are afraid because I've received death threats. He said, people have come to our campus. They have come to my church to try to cause problems, issues, and challenges. Sapp serves as the senior pastor of the chosen.
I don't believe it. I don't believe that he's saying that these people are, I don't believe it. I just don't feel like all of them death threats is happening like that. But I think it could get the people up off of him, in my opinion. Let me skip this because that's the best thing he could say to get people,
which is based in Fort Worth, Texas. He explained that the threats have been a burden on his children. And look, I have to say this. I have to say it. He's lying. Tell me this. Let's sit back and use our common sense because you have to use your common sense with these people because they try to play on your emotions. What black person or black group of people that's going to go to a church and cause harm to anyone, especially over money, unless you steal from them and stuff like that. But it's not people, it's not black people online that's threatening to come to your church and do something to you. Black people don't even play like that. Even if we're not Christians, even if we don't believe in what you believe in, we're not coming to your church. We're not playing in anybody's church like that. We just don't do that as black people. Matter of fact, on TikTok, you got people making memes about this situation. People are laughing. What you mean people calling you with death threats? I'm telling you, I'm not going to say all of them, but most black pastors work for the CIA. Oh, you think I'm lying? Check this out. Yes, there have been instances where the CIA has used clergy and missionaries. And I had to learn what clergy was, so I looked it up. Clergy is the body of all people ordained for religious duties, especially in the Christian church. And like I was saying earlier, what did the CIA use to hold our people back in the 80s? They used crack, they used drugs, they used guns, they used all this crime to hold our people back on purpose. In the 90s, they used hip hop. They attacked hip hop just to mess up our minds and stuff like that. And in my opinion, like I say, I don't say all of them, but for the most part, most black pastors have been compromised. They work for the CIA.
Shut up.
Tell me this: how can you bring in $19 billion a
Right.
year? The black church brings in $19 billion every year, but we don't have no black hospital. You bring in $19 billion a year, and we got churches all around the hood, every corner. I told you, I'm a truck driver, so I drove in every hood in America.
So you mean to tell me if you go to every rock star going in, and if you go to every hood, you're gonna see churches. So we know the church, they work with the government. It's a 501c, like you said. They in bed with the government. So they gotta do what the government say. But my point is, all of them are. We got even the politicians, but it all comes down to the boule, to the Divine Nine in these groups. And I'm gonna show y'all another video on that later. Check this out. But it all starts with me with the Divine Nine. Let me let them.
I drove in. I'm not exaggerating. I drove in all these hoods. And going to the hood, all you see AME church, Baptist church, and it goes on and on. But all you see around it
That
is poverty, crime,
is the
everything. So what's the point? And then you have to step back and use your common sense. Why we never hear no pastor speak on the real shit that's going on? Make it make sense. For example, you got Caucasian doctors, foreign doctors that's purposely unaliving,
exactly.
murdering black women while they in labor. They doing it on purpose. I did multiple videos about this.
And check this out. Have you ever heard anybody, politician, pastor, boule? They don't never talk about Black Wall Street. They don't never talk about, hey, let's take all of the $1.8 trillion that we spending and let's just worry about us. They don't give us no game plan that's really gonna work. And they got all of this college knowledge. But they never give us, they can run it up for themselves. They can get, have $1 million homes and have so much equity, but they can't. Is it that hard to tell the hood, keep all money in? Spend with yourself, build your own businesses. Let's help each other. Let's unite. I mean, I don't see that it can be that hard. My point. I think it's purposely done. I think they just can't speak on it. They'll never tell you instructions for wealth for poor people because they pimping it already. They don't want to give you the game plan. Listen to this.
I'm gonna always speak on it because these pastors, they never speaking on that. They never talking about that. They just saying all the right things to make you give them their money.
Right.
That's
all
it.
the
And the hood stays down. Our black community stays stuck at the same point because of these pastors. They don't speak on real shit. Instead of Marvin Sappy bringing awareness to these black men being unalived in these sundown towns on mountains, he talking about 40K, lock the doors for 40K, and then want to lie and say, oh, it was a donation to the convention. What? Make it make sense, bro. We don't believe anything you say. You are pimping out our community, and you're doing it on purpose because you know our people are emotional. And that's all you have to do is touch their emotions. Bring some comedy, and you got them. They'll give you their last few dollars, their last $2, like Johnny Taylor say. The black church brings in $19 billion a year. And we don't have no type of army that protects our people. You bringing in all this money. But no, the black pastors, they want to do opposite. They want to feed our people hope while they buy mansions. They want to feed our people hope while they buy Bentleys. They want to feed our people hope while they on a pulpit with Rolexes on, with gold chains on, with Gucci on. I'm telling you, the
Louis
game
Vuitton
is cold. And look, sometimes you have to use your common sense. Well, all the time, use your common sense. Look at these mega churches. Look at churches like Bethany. Bethany got churches all across the country. Then go outside and look at the community around those mega churches, around churches like Bethany.
It looked sad. It looked like a bomb hit the community. Bro, I had an experience, man. Introvert from New Orleans. I got family from New Orleans. I went to a funeral in New Orleans. One of my aunt had passed, and I went to New Orleans to the funeral, and we all finna get ready to join the line, and we finna line and march. The preacher pull out the parking lot, Benz, Rolex on, and everybody like, dang, he got the rollie on, whole bunch of diamonds, and he used to be in the streets too. And right then, I'm just like, dang, this is crazy. Like, how can you be amongst all these people, bro? And you looking like, you looking like a dope boy. Let me let them cook.
Community is always messed up. Everybody on drugs,
What's
everybody
up, Black?
stressing,
Des,
everybody going through things.
I
But you
appreciate
look,
you,
the
Des. I ain't
pastor,
see
he
you
got a
in a
jet.
minute.
You look, the pastor, he got a Bentley. You look, the pastor, he got a mansion. Make it make sense. And in my opinion, we have to keep calling out these pastors because they are the ops. They are working for the CIA. I'm telling you, this is not a coincidence. So if you're wondering why these black pastors don't put money back into the black community as a whole, they don't build anything. We have no banks, we don't have no hospitals, we don't have no black schools, we don't have no black grocery stores, we don't have no black therapy, foundation for black people. You want to
Now, if y'all remember, I showed you what I did a video and I showed you what Fred Hampton said. Fred Hampton said something that was so important, man. Fred said, we ain't waiting. We starting our clinics. We're doing our stuff right now. Like this is how we know they the CIA, because they could just go back to what the Black Panther Party did, what Fred Hampton did, what Malcolm X was saying. It's not hard, bro. It's just you have to literally want to neglect the people, because they already did it. We already got history on what works. We got the whole formula. It's just they really trying to stop the formula from working. All you got to do is go to our ancestors. They already did the research. Like I always show y'all, Steve Coakley, Steve Darp. These guys already did the research. It's easy to find this stuff. It's no way that we shouldn't have a game plan for people who's making $19 billion in the church, that we should all be prospering. You can't tell me no
know
different.
why? Because they can't. I told you, all that 19 million is tax free. The government allows them to get money and it's not taxed. They do this on purpose. So if they speak up for the people, guess what the government go do? The government go take their privilege away and start taxing them. They don't want that. So that's why they put money in front of the people. That's why they have to stunt on their own
Mm-hmm.
people. If I'm a pastor, why I'm coming to the pulpit with gold on? Why I'm coming to the pulpit with Rolexes on? That don't make sense. I don't even do that on YouTube. I would never come to YouTube with a $40,000 watch on my wrist. I would never do that. Why would you want to do that in front of people that's going through it? Why would you want to do that in front of a community that's struggling? I'm telling you, they would rather spend that money on themselves than to help people in the community. And they always want to tell you about God. God need money. God does not need your money. Jesus does not need your money. These pastors need your money. He needed 40K to pay off his debt. He needed 40K to pay his mortgage. I'm telling you, the game is cold, and a lot of black people are gonna stay asleep, and we're not even focused on them. Let them stay asleep. But for the people that's always been like this, this, like, man, come on. And like I say, it's not all pastors, because you do have some black pastors that actually care about what's going on. You do have some black pastors.
You do got some of them, but check this out. He goes on to, and I'm gonna show that clip of him talking on Pink Book Lessons. He goes on to say he don't need 40,000. This man saying that he don't need no money. He said he just straight that he don't even need no money. He trying to fool us with that. I'm finna hold on. Let me let y'all see this. We got the whole family here tonight. I appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. But check this out. This is what this guy said, defending. Check this out.
Not Marvin Sapp. Number two, it didn't happen at my church. It happened in Baltimore. Number three, people take issue with me being firm with the ushers. Anybody that goes to church, ushers one-on-one, that's the first thing they teach you.
Here.
I could apologize for that. But three things I need to make sure people understood. Number one, the $40,000, if it was $40,000 that was raised, was never given to me.
Tonight.
That money was raised for the purpose
of
taking care of the budget for their conference, not Marvin Sapp. Number two, it didn't happen at my church. It happened in Baltimore. Number three, people take issue with me being firm with the ushers. Anybody that goes to church, ushers one-on-one, that's the first thing they teach you as being an usher, is that there are 3 times you don't walk. You don't walk during the altar call. You don't walk during prayer. You don't walk during the offering. One of the reasons being is because of the sacredness of the moment. But it's also about security. As a pastor,
Real family.
we understand and we know that churches are being robbed at gunpoint. It's happening all over the country. This is
Cap,
not something I'm making up. This is factual. So if you got
capping already.
5,000 people in the room, you want the doors closed. You don't want the doors locked. I couldn't get them locked anyway. It's a convention center.
Now he got to stop playing. People are not going to believe that he wanted the doors closed for security reasons. He was the one who basically said, y'all don't have to leave now. We're going to all leave together. What do you think that meant? He's like, y'all not going nowhere but down to Golden Corral anyway.
Dang, Mickey, we might have to have you. We might have to have a spot and have you cook some of that food there. Let me go back. You know, you threw me off with the potatoes and the cheesy broccoli. Man, let's get you.
And no, he didn't say Golden Corral. He said the restaurant. But y'all know church folks like to line up on Sundays down to the buffet after service. So yeah, you can find them at Golden Corral, the Piccadilly, or back in the day, all the church shows love Shoney's. But no, you got to stop playing. You did not tell those people to close those doors for security reasons.
But the doors needed to be closed, and there was a lot of pandemonium and stuff that was going on out there. But I wanted to share that first. But that ain't even the reason why I'm here. Here's the reason why I'm here. The reason why I'm here is because what has happened is people have taken clickbait and made something out of it that it isn't.
Don't do this.
And because of that, my church has been getting phone calls. People have called my church and cussed me out. My staff are afraid because I've received death threats over $20 and shut the door. People have come to our campus. They have come to my church to try to cause problems, issues, challenges. And again, my children, I don't look at comments. We was talking about this. You know, I don't read comments. When you got millions of followers, you ain't got to read all the comments. You just don't have it.
Right.
My children do. And they are afraid. And the reason being is because I'm their only parent. I'm a widower. You know, they're afraid for my safety. So now we've had to update and increase security and all the things I've never had to do before because of the vitriol and the anger that people have shown, the things they've said in my thread and stuff. And all of this is because of a misunderstanding. And I'm not blaming people. Let me be clear. I'm not blaming anybody because of their misunderstanding. I'm just saying in all you're getting, get an understanding. And if I'm sharing with you that the $40,000 that I was trying to raise, and again, I don't know if the organization got 40, 10, 20, any of it. I don't know. I'm hoping that I actually raised more money.
Always.
So that I can help the organization that has been such a great support to me. These people.
And again, let's be clear. Not a dime of that money.
Not a dime of that money came to me. Not a dime of it.
And where did your money come from?
I've been blessed. I've been extremely blessed. I've sold millions of records. Millions. I'm a songwriter.
How much have you gotten paid from? And we on the radio live.
Right.
How much have you gotten paid from your church? I'm just saying.
Okay, so
tell me what you said.
I'm gonna tell you. What people don't know is that I pastored 16 years in the city of Grand Rapids, Michigan. I founded my church. I pastored 16 years. We had a great church. Still have a great church there. 16 years of pastoring. I never got paid a dime. That's a fact. 16 years. You can call the church. You can ask them. I pastored the Lighthouse for Life.
Now, listen to this, right? I'm gonna tell they think that people are slow when it comes to the 501c3. You are tax exempt. So he's not going to pay himself through a 501c3. What he's going to do is he's going to buy assets out of that 501c3. He's going to put the money in there so he don't have to pay taxes. See, they don't understand the benefits, and they say, oh, I ain't take a paycheck. But you buying stuff. You buying stuff that's going to give you recurring revenue. That's how you getting rich. You get rich with the 501c3, bro. Explain that to it. Why don't you just say what you could do with the 501c3? Then everybody will understand. They're making us think that you got to pay yourself to. You don't have to do that. You can use that money just like if you have a business, you got to pay taxes, and you could buy assets, you could buy stuff, and you don't have to pay taxes on none of that. But let me let them rock.
I've sent a church in Grand Rapids, Michigan for free for 16 years. 9 years of those
Capital.
16 years, I gave a minimum of $30,000 a month to my church.
Why you think he gave $30,000 a month to the church? He gave $30,000 a month to the church because it's tax free. So when he makes money, it goes into the church. They think we just slow, bro. Then you buying stuff, you don't have to pay taxes. And they're gonna let you get away with all of that buffoonery if you stay on code with them. They're gonna let you do that. He's making it seem like he just gonna put 30,000. So where did the money go? If you put 30,000 a month into a church, that's 300,000 a year. Where did that money go? Because if you bought the church, you probably paying a mortgage. He probably put money down. He ain't just swiping and paying all the cash. See, they thinking that everybody don't know about the 501c3s and all of this, but he telling on himself.
30 grand a month to my church to ensure that the church could go forward. We had a lot of stuff. I had a college campus that we had bought. We had 3 other campuses, and my membership had dwindled after my wife had passed because I had to travel more in order to take care of me and my kids.
Right.
So, my membership, it dwindled, but we never lost anything. And as a matter of fact, this is factual.
Exactly.
The day I announced the new pastor, I burned the mortgage of the church. When I left Grand Rapids, I left my church not only debt free, but I left them with 6 figures in the bank and put a brand new pastor in and walked away and moved to Texas. I'm not walking around here trying to be a pimp. I'm not trying to take advantage of people. That's never been my passion. I'm serious about ministry. And let me go one step further. There's a whole lot of other pastors around here that are doing the same thing. Most pastors in America are bivocational, meaning they have jobs outside of their churches.
Of course, they getting money outside of the church because you can funnel it into the church. And now when you have to buy stuff, you buying it through the. It's just, I can't believe that they just acting like we just so slow, bro. He's using the church as he's using the church like it's a tax write-off, pretty much. Shout out Tiffany. Once the church started taking faith-based money, rules are not to help the community. Right. Now I could see if you gave 30,000 a month and you helped the community, like we could see something in the community that was, because when you upgrade these churches, this what happens. The church is worth more money. Now it's like real estate. You can pull money off of that church because it has equity in it. It's worth more than, what you put into it. So now they take equity from the church, take that money out, and they use that money. They making it seem like, this money flip that they doing with the church is just like, I ain't doing nothing. I'm just putting money in. Like, we know the game, bro. You using the real estate game with the church. You're going to upgrade the church. The church is going to be bigger. It's going to be worth more money. You're going to pull that money off of the church. After you done built the church that big, you're going to pull the money off of the church. The equity. All you got to do is pay the monthly mortgage. So you're just hoping that the people around the church just able to pay the mortgage because you done pulled all the money. You pulled the equity out the church. So that's why they say, oh, we ain't really getting nobody. Yeah, because you just want them to pay the bill, bro. Let me let them keep rocking.
The average church size in America is only 75 people. Look it up. It's factual. So we're not getting rich off the church. I am bivocational. I'm a W-2 employee at my church. I have a syndicated radio show that I do every week to over 60 different markets. I own real estate. I have mutual funds.
I hope they clear that part up too. He just said he's a W-2 employee at his church in Texas. So when Ricky wanted to highlight that he wasn't getting paid for being a pastor, he had to be talking about the church in Grand Rapids only. But if he's a W-2 employee at his church in Texas, he's not doing it for free and he's getting paid. Not sure what they're paying them, but they're paying them something. But yeah, all the stuff about people showing up to the church and them receiving threats, that's not cool at all. I definitely don't agree with people doing that. And yes, a lot of pastors have other jobs, but we can't act like these mega church pastors didn't take up all the memberships that's left over. And they are indeed getting rich off people buying jets, cheating on their wives, then surprising them with $200,000, $300,000 cars. That's happening too. And that's a problem that they need to clean up within themselves because them going around not saying anything about it, they allow the pork chop pastor pimps to give them all a bad name.
I have annuities. I have stocks. I play the market. I took my money and I didn't trick it.
Money that you made from
Money that I made
hit
from music,
records.
from hit records. I'm one of the only gospel artists with billions of streams.
And you tour.
And I tour. I just came off of a tour.
Sure.
That I made tons of money on. And I'm at the crib right now chilling because I don't have to go on tour. I can wait and do my next date.
But basically, you saying all that to say you don't need no $40,000.
I don't.
Got it.
And I will take it if they gonna give it to me. But I did not raise this money for the premise and purpose.
And that was a program that helped you get to where you
They
are.
gave me a platform. This organization is an organization I grew up in. It's a church organization I grew up in, and I'm appreciative. The reason why I'm gonna bring up the organization because it ain't none of y'all business. But the point is these people gave me a platform, man, and the reason why I'm known today is because of the opportunities that this organization gave me. So for me to go back and be able to preach and raise finances and give back to them so that they don't have to go in debt. Listen,
hold that thought. Hold that thought, y'all. 25 before the top of the hour, y'all. We're talking to Marvin Sapp. More Marvin Sapp up next. Rick Smiley Morning Show.
I was just saying that, I think one of the most devastating things about this whole situation and circumstance is that, I'm literally praying for all of those who have actually spreaded the lie. And the reason being is because I don't think people really understand that when you do things like this, the effect that it has. Like if I was a weak guy, if I was a very weak person with all of the things that people have said in my comments and stuff like that, that my members of my church have read, that my children have read, people commit suicide on stuff like this.
Sure.
From this type of attack. And I know for a fact that there are some individuals that really don't have a clear understanding of the systems of the church. But then I know that there are some individuals that are listening, even as I speak, that have been church hurt, and that's the reason why they have a certain level of vitriol and bitterness as it pertains to the church.
Yeah, I understand people with that attitude too. They got to admit though, that stems from the behavior, the lack of accountability, and the foolishness that's been going on in the church for years. It's been going on forever, and they all covered it up.
Damage control.
This particular situation for me is a church hurting situation because I did something for the church, but I'm taking abuse because of it. And that's what church hurt is all about. And as I just want people to really understand that this is something that we shouldn't do. Make sure you do your due diligence. Make sure you check out everything first. Make sure that you examine the information with clarity and context before you begin to share it. It's sad. I was labeled as a pulpit pimp. Honestly, let me be real, Rick. Some of this stuff is funny. They got this one meme that I was laughing this morning looking at with the Teddy Pendergrass
laughing at
fur coat on, and it got at the bottom of my face, said close the door. It's hilarious. I'm just telling you, I can laugh at that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But let me go one step further. Everybody ain't able to handle that. And you all have to really, really be cognizant of it. You got to think about before you repost, before you slander, before you go in people's comments and say vile and just vitriol stuff. Make sure you know for a fact what it is that they've done. Now, if I was had babies all over the country, if I was, stealing money, if you found out that I was actually stealing money, I wouldn't mind being dragged. I wouldn't. But that's not what I done. And that's not what I did. The only thing I did was honor the leadership of our church's organization when they asked me to take up an offering. I tried to raise $40,000 for the organization, not for me personally. Right. The money that I make, I write songs. I own businesses. I have multiple streams of income. I have been good with the money and a good steward over the finances that God has given me. So at you don't have to explain. At 58 years of age.
Yes, he has to explain while we out here paying taxes with we out here with our business paying taxes. Y'all checks that y'all, anybody who working, they got tax coming out of their money, and he's pimping the system. He knows how, he understands he got to have that church in place. He can get money with everything else and funnel it through the church. They funneling a lot of the money through the church.
58 years of age, if I don't drive a certain kind of car, there's a problem. That means I tricked off my money. I'm bitching. But you work hard. I work and still work hard.
And on tour and getting on planes. And
absolutely. Planes, trains, automobiles, hotels, motels, holidays.
And rehearsals.
And
singing and preaching on Sunday.
Doing
and rehearsals and writing the song and producing and hours and hours in the studio. Yeah, you worked hard for that. And what was your number one hits?
My number one hit was Never Would Have Made It.
I guarantee you all of the pastors won't say, I'm going to let y'all, let's open up the books. Let's see where all the money going. Let's see how this thing is going. And y'all tell me from looking at the paperwork. They'll never say that. They'll just tell you, let's open up the books. Let's see where all this money is going. Let's have it to where everybody at the church, it has to be transparent, where they get to see what you're doing with the money. Then everybody will understand the game. But you don't have to show them. You don't have to show the church. You don't have to show nobody where the money going.
Never would have made it.
48 weeks at number one.
Yeah.
48 weeks at number one. When it first came out, I sold 4 million ringbacks and ringtones.
Come on, man.
Exactly.
4 million.
Yeah. Don't see them.
Y'all do the math. Y'all do the math. Who do you know that can work a job for 16 years and don't get paid? Who do you know that can give $30,000 a month to a church for 9 years? Do the math. Yeah. Do the math. And walk away from it. This ain't about $40,000. I don't know what it's about, but Marvin, I want to be clear.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You've done a fantastic job of explaining in detail, the whole situation.
Better than me because I'd have been going off.
No. You've done a fantastic job of explaining yourself. It brings to mind the saying that why run with the truth when the lie is way more entertaining.
Absolutely.
And that's what has happened in this case. And I respect pastors who actually do the good work like you're talking about. But I think it's become real popular over the last few years for people to attack people in your position. It started with the whole, Creflo Dollar and the plane thing. It just became real fashionable.
And see, this guy jumping in is not helping the situation. One of the co-hosts on the Ricky Smiley show, Marvin, did a better job of explaining himself. Don't bring up people, quote, attacking Creflo Dollar. No, Creflo Dollar should have been held accountable. Around here asking them people to buy him a jet with no shame whatsoever. See, that's not going to work. Trying to make them all look innocent just because you want to claim innocence for one? No way. Mm-hmm. Especially when we know the ones you're trying to throw in the group as innocent are guilty. No. By doing that, you're contaminating the whole pot. So yeah, this guy hosting with Ricky Smiley should just really hush at this point. Creflo Dollar was out of order, and everybody should have been calling him out for his foolishness. Now, with this whole Marvin Sapp situation, I believe that he did not take a dime of that money that was raised. I do believe the money was raised to help organizers of the Pentecostal convention, but at the end of the day, you have to recognize why people are really upset. It was him pressuring them to donate money. That's why people had such a big problem. You can't go around forcing people or pressuring people to donate money, bottom line. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Do you think this PR play on the Ricky Smiley show helped Marvin Sapp? Tell me what you think about it below. Shout out to Samuel and Emmett.
So now I want to show y'all this because he got 2 of them. Now we got Bobby Hemmett. I don't know if y'all know of Bobby Hemmett, but he be exposing. He passed away, but he exposes a lot of these guys. Check this out. R.I.P. to Bobby Hemmett too. But he goes on to explain how they boule system works.
Gay boule. Okay. You have the gay boule, gay black political scene and gay Hollywood. What do you know about that right there, brother? I would like for you to take the time.
First of all,
hold up. I would like for you to take the time and to explain it to our audience about what is the gay boule.
I'll go into that.
What is the gay political scene?
Well, I'll use this as the springboard. Two things going on here. Now, this guy here is undoubtedly gay. But here goes the white people again. Obviously, this has to be a personal picture. One that is not supposed to be used on the front cover of a newspaper when two people died. See, despite what you think about this guy here doing the shooting, another guy died in the context of this.
Yep.
Which just so happened to be good friends with this guy. And which leads us to that whole political part I'll get into in a few minutes of where there's already been made mention that this was a lover spat. But before I get into that, I want to get into this particular part. What does it tell you about the mindset of a people that had a horrendous death, two deaths? Yeah, horrendous death, two deaths on July 23rd, which is key. That's the African
He gonna explain how
New Year in ancient Kemet and the rising of Sirius. So we also have some type of conspiracy going on. I'll get into it in a few seconds. But I just want to talk about this. Why would they put this on the front page of the New York Daily News? You see? This picture of a man here, you know what I'm saying, sporting some butt crack and some damn plastic yellow pants on.
Because see, they not only just talk about him, they
That's
talk
right.
about the black man, period.
There you
When
go.
they do things like
Disrespecting
that,
us.
It's all a part of a propaganda of dehumanization, not dehumanizing the killer, but dehumanizing the black man and black people in general. You know what I'm saying? Now, another person died in the context of this, so why are you going to make mockery in a certain condescending way the next day? Now, first of all, it was a ritual that's going down, and this is nothing but MK Ultra, the Manchurian candidate, where they could just give a person a phone call and he go and shoot up the place and kill this other congressman, councilman. You see, kill this other councilman, and his middle name is Boaz, which is a Masonic symbol and a Masonic genealogy of Boaz and a pillar. You see,
MK
and so they would do this,
raise head,
and they would put this type of thing on the newspaper, and the New York Daily World is supposed to be very serious, and they would put this type of thing on. This is not by mistake that they would do something like this, and and then they would show another picture of him, and this will let you know, okay, they say it was one picture, we got this picture with his shirt off. Well, why is it that the next picture they show of him, he got his shirt off again? Which means they're trying to play on something that is going on. You see, his shirt is off again in this particular part, and he's all exposed. So this lets you know that they're trying to convey a certain thing, a certain image, and all. But you know, but it's not by mistake. Why didn't they put this one on the cover? It's a lot decent, but I'm just trying to say this type thing here is still a ritual to make mockery, and we don't get it. We don't get this particular part. You see what I'm saying? But this dehumanizes both people because they are also insinuating that this was a lover spat. Also, and it very well could have been. But this is how they do things based on this. But it's also still going back. Now you got to understand that why did it happen on July 23rd? Which is in case the African rising of Sirius, the star Sirius, and the African New Year for most of the ancient world, and the New Year for people in the ancient world, period. But not only that, remember, and I've been saying this since '98, that you must understand that whenever they do this during the summer solstice, it is for distraction. Whenever this happens during the summer solstice, it is always due to distraction. The Abner Luima thing happened during the summer solstice.
Appreciate you.
This is always for distraction. When they would put this type of this aspect on. It's just like this Kobe Bryant thing we'll get into in a few minutes. It's nothing but distraction. Why did they sentence him during the summer solstice? Because they know that during the summer solstice, let me explain out there for the people who don't understand, that black people are closer to not only the star Sirius, but the cosmos, but the production of melanin is at a higher level during the summer months. It's a rebirth of the human spirit, period. And so black people having the highest form of melanin, they have to put certain things that give you a conversation so you can be locked into foolishness, so that you can miss some certain things. Because remember now, if the radio station goes off, somebody might start to think. So this is a form of propaganda, which leads us now back to the gay thing. We know now that the Boule, which is a black elite society, started by the Skull and Bones at Yale, and a black elite society, the Boule, which is the people who basically are chosen by the United States government to, or the Illuminati, let's put it that way, or the secret society, to run the black neighborhood, whether it be Afrocentric consciousness, whether it be civil rights all-star, whether it be Bible Belt gospel or whatever. They have infiltrated all forms of society. The Boule.
Shout out to William Johnson.
Sigma Pi Phi fraternity. And basically, Tom expound the black community and make sure that we are always at a deficit when it comes to getting ahead. We are marginalized when it comes to rising to our own aspect, because we always have this infiltration and this agent community that is not someone that's infiltrated amongst the grassroots, but the very heads of policymakers.
So when you say the Boule is like the black elite?
Yes.
The black elites that try to prevent black people from
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And if in whatever time that black and whatever, and whenever we do get some crumbs, it is always guided and controlled by the Europeans, and they make sure that we don't govern our own selves. You see, even when we think we're making a decision, the Boule and the government is behind that, because the first rule in the occult technology of power, which is the Illuminati handbook, is always be a part of all groups, fund everything. We fund the radical and the conservative. So even the most radical, a lot of times, have infiltration and can be backed by the same ruling powers, because they really don't care, because they're a secret society. So they even fund the radical. This is a form of mind control. So the Boule, but what is the code and the key that will keep a people year after year since it's been established in the early 1900s, to keep these particular people in secrecy to the point that we only hear about them in the 90s. And they continue to do these things. That is because they go.
Y'all heard what he said? They started in the 1900s, but we ain't really heard about them until the 90s. What the heck they were doing from all of that time? Like, they only became popular pretty much in the 90s.
Under the same level of the people who started them, which is the Skull and Bones, which is the same ritual, whereas you have to have sexual intercourse with the other man, and that is your secret. That is the thing of yours. The La Costa Nostra, when they say this thing of ours, is the word for La Costa Nostra, this thing of ours. Well, what is this thing of ours? You are sworn to secrecy because of a homosexual act. So this is why it's so ingrained and rooted on such a higher level, because I fuck you in the ass, and therefore I always have this on you. And so therefore our secret, you see, can always stand. Now remember, now this is not out with a gay homosexual ring, whereas you know, homosexual ring, whereas you gay and somebody screwed you and everybody, and you're out of the closet. There's no secrecy in that. These are for upstanding members of society, so on, quote unquote, that stand to lose everything because of the families, because of the whole social order, if somebody found out that they're gay. You see, usually these people are supposed to be the ultimate form of the virile male executing this fake falsehood power in these movements.
They had Diddy doing stuff like that. YouTube done turned my TV off. Oh, okay, that was it. But in the 90s, we finally got more access to the information, right? But it's crazy how that's when the movie started coming out. It's a movie called Black Sand where they show spanking Spike Lee and they show the rituals, bro. And I've been going back and like looking at like just the titles of movies and stuff, and I'm like, dang, they was putting this stuff on us, y'all, in the movies and everything. Just straight pimping. Straight pimping. They never did nothing. Was there ever a movie that was bad about the church? Have we ever seen a movie that was like that? Black Sand, you seen that, Mickey? I'm saying like, it's just crazy, man. They said it cured everything but death. Damn, black seed oil? That's crazy. Man, I had to put Bobby Hemmett up there, man. He one of the greats that was doing it. But man, it's Willie Lynch. They wanted us to hump for Jesus. I wanted to put this on y'all, man. This Willie Lynch. Who
Imagine a powerful secret to controlling people, not just for years, but for centuries. A secret so effective that it could divide families, communities, and even entire races, all without the use of chains or whips. In 1712, on the banks of the James River in Virginia, a British slave owner named Willie Lynch allegedly shared this sinister method with American slaveholders. His strategy: divide enslaved Africans by skin tone, age, and gender to keep them in constant conflict, preventing unity and rebellion. But here's the catch. Historians say Willie Lynch may never have existed, and the letter detailing his speech might be a hoax. So why has this document become so widely believed? What does it say about the psychological manipulation of Black people, and how does it still affect us today? Whether real or fake, the legacy of the Willie Lynch letter has shaped conversations about race, division, and control for decades. To dive deeper into this controversial topic, click the link in the description or watch the attached video.
Willie Lynch. Have y'all seen the Skull and Bones movie? I haven't seen that. I haven't seen the Skull and Bones movie. I need to check it out. Do they got black people in it? That's what I want to know. Do they got some brothers in them? Cause these movies, man, you know, they portray us any kind of way. But we got the whole family in here tonight. That's what's up. Got Des in the building. What y'all think about that? That woman, man, who got caught with the young scooter. Y'all think she gonna get charged? Screen sharing was canceled. We are in the studio producing around this Willie Lynch letter. Someone come. For real. Yeah, man, you gotta let me I can't wait to see what you gonna produce, man. Willie Lynch, something serious. But the boule is just got us in a chokehold right now. We gotta cut everything. We gotta cut everything out. But black media is getting real big. They've been playing with my channel, especially my lives. They've been playing with it.
Truth. Why does the black media matter? Why even have a black media? I said 17 years ago that all media, is defined by who owns it, who controls it, but most importantly, whose interest it operates in. Bob Johnson created BET, but white people funded it. So that meant that they controlled it. And as a result, it operated in their interest. It certainly didn't operate in ours. A lot of black folks weren't willing to admit to that about BET when it began. The boomers had all kinds of delusions. But in the years to come, the Gen Xers, Millennials, and now Gen Z, they look at BET as a joke.
Crazy.
The ridicule and the insults about BET took hold as soon as the Gen Xers hit their teenage years, started calling it EBT instead of BET. It was obvious what it is. The point that media serves is to promote a particular worldview. Up until the last 15 years or so, ours was totally dominated by what our enemies put over the airwaves or in print. That has finally begun to change, modestly, but to be sure, it's changing. But then again, an avalanche doesn't begin with half the mountain falling away immediately. It starts with a few pebbles at first, and things seem to stabilize, at least on the surface. But most people don't recognize that there's huge changes happening underneath the surface. And then next thing you know, half the mountain begins to move slowly at first, and then eventually it all breaks away and can't be stopped. This is the change that I think has begun, and I want to thank you for allowing me to have been a part of it. And make no mistake, that's how it works. I didn't elbow my way in. You allowed this to happen. You're the reason that it occurred because you wanted it. And as the voice that's been coming out of your computer or your TV or your telephone for the last 15 years, I can tell you, I certainly wouldn't be here if you didn't want it. I couldn't exist without you, that's for sure. That's the reason why ever since I started doing the Moment of Truth, I made it a point that with every single video I posted, I would always end it by saying, Black empowerment only exists because of you. I didn't say just the Black media.
Man, I appreciate all y'all for supporting me, man, tapping in with this new Black media that we pushing out content. I just appreciate y'all for just giving me the ammunition to keep going, man. Salute to y'all for real. Let me let them go for a little bit. Then I'm going to Young Scooter. I gotta show them what
I said. Black empowerment. Every one of you should see yourselves as the resistance in a war against the greatest evil the world has ever faced, white supremacy. And you are soldiers for the greatest cause mankind has ever had, Black empowerment. But the war that we're fighting is not merely to stop the unrelenting anti-Black violence that we're subjected to. It is to make sure that we have our piece of the world and that we control it. A man once said that after a revolution, it's not the ideas that carry over, it's the institutions. Now, Professor Black Truth's definition of an institution is a group of people who come together to protect and promote a particular idea or ideal. Banks can be an institution. They come together to promote commerce. Schools can be an institution. They come together to promote indoctrination, education, allegedly. Certainly in the Black community, the church is an institution. Though to be honest, the church's prominence in our community happens to be largely artificial because it's the one institution that white power allowed us to have that they didn't put under constant attack. Exactly. And when you look at how these pulpit pimps behave, you understand why that is. They come together so the pastor can get a new Bentley on the congregation's dime and then brag that God bought it for him. With the Black media, we're not so much attempting to put in place a new institution as we are to reinforce and, truth be told, resurrect an old one that's free from the poisonous influence of white supremacy, that speaks unapologetically in our favor and ours alone, one that seeks the empowerment of our people and not white advertiser dollars. When groups and societies go through calamities and upheavals, what happens is that their institutions come under immense pressure. And when those old institutions fall, new ones arise. This is not to say that every single one of our institutions has been tools of the devil, far from it, but they have all, to some extent or another, been contaminated by the influence of white power and its agents. In many cases, a lot of them have been outright compromised.
All of them have been compromised. I ain't gonna say all of them. We had some, but if you, I show y'all all the time of what happened in the 60s with Darhart Perry, and they infiltrated all of our organizations, the writers' workshops, like everything. They pretty much it was a threat to.
The reason we've been running in circles for so many decades is because we refused to accept that reality. So we kept going on as if everything was normal when it wasn't. We've never had a moment when our institutions were not under constant assault because we are a people under siege. Our institutions may be weak, but not because they're bad or wrong, but because they're under constant attack, both from without and from within. But even in their weakness, our institutions are still standing when all others would have been reduced to dust by now. Our institutions have been weakened, but not destroyed.
So, man, I had to get that little empowerment from Black Truth, man. I only listen. If you ain't standing on this business, I can't really it's hard for me to even listen to you. But check this out, man. I wanted to get in y'all into that this woman, man, who playing as a plant that got your boy Young Scooter. Check this out. She speaks and everything. And this guy, he just
Scooter is back with some more fairy tales to save herself from the horrors she committed. Her name is Demi Blanco. She deactivated her Instagram yesterday after I exposed her, but now she reactivated it because she can't miss out on that clout. So this is her, man, just a regular, like, degenerate scallywag from, out of Georgia. This chick just represents the worst that our culture has to offer. Of course, a delinquent, a degenerate like her auditioned for baddies at some point. So she's on national television acting an absolute fool. This is her pre-argument that ultimately led to her getting her behind whooped on at the baddies audition. Look at her in the green, falling back, getting pummeled by a stranger who didn't know that she existed 5 minutes before this interaction. But now they're pummeling each other, attacking each other, right? Fighting over a baddie ticket so they can have the privilege to come on national television and completely embarrass their family. This is where our society has came to. And this woman, Demi Blanco, she is literally the epitome of the filth that our society is currently at. So, of course, when you see scallywag exhibitions like this, it's a no-brainer that the natural progression would be date the 15th man on Young Scooter's entourage bench and act like you really doing something in Atlanta when essentially you aren't doing not a goddamn thing. And of course, the natural progression from that would be when the 15th man on the entourage bench of Young Scooter want to drop you like a bad habit because you are an air mattress sleeping, 2 draws having, bunk 304. You make us call, swat them, and ultimately get his friend killed. A funky 304 like her, I would imagine, would go in hiding and never show her face again after what she did. But apparently this one is so clout thirsty that she wants the attention that comes with it. So this is why she's now speaking out. So she hopped on IG Live to explain why what she did was justified. But before we can react or review the IG Live, let's just give you guys some context. So we know by now that she made a call to 911, telling 911 that Young Scooter and his homies were doing some scandalous, violent things at that particular home. Now, that call led to the police showing up. So let's just remind you guys of exactly some of the things that she said, just in case you missed it the first time.
There was literally a shooting. They're like selling drugs in and out of the house. This girl doesn't have on any clothes. They threw her outside. He was fighting the girl. He literally fought the girl. She had someone come over there, and they started shooting. But the house needs to be investigated. It was 3 shots.
When did it happen?
It's happening now. Yeah, she's trying to get away, and they're holding her. She's being held hostage. There's also a child in danger as well because she has a baby.
Okay, you said the female is naked?
Yeah, she's naked, and she's bleeding profusely from her head. This is a house, and I think you guys should get here quick because this girl he's really hitting her, and it's a child involved. There is like 7 guys in the house, and they all have guns. You guys need to hurry and get here before she doesn't make it.
Ma'am, we already have help organized for her. What's the phone number you're calling from? Exactly what happened?
There's a situation going on in this house. There's 7 guys that live here, and they're basically, I'm not sure if they're running some type of sex traffic. This individual, she's a 5'2", light-skinned female, black hair.
Ma'am, are you with the patient now?
No, I'm a neighborhood watch. I'm just literally a neighborhood watch. I'm not in the house.
Okay.
Oh, no. What do you mean is she awake? He's beating her bloody.
Conscious?
He's beating her bloody. He's dragged her back in the house.
There's no excuse in this climate for anybody to make a false accusation like that, bro, especially in Atlanta, bro. Atlanta PD is the most overzealous, aggressive group of cops I've ever experienced. Now, I've experienced some very good cops in Atlanta, so it could go either way. When the cops are good, they're very good, but when they are bad, they are aggressive in Atlanta, which they probably have all reason to be aggressive, right? With as much RICOs and gang activities going on, but you make a call like that to Atlanta PD and you expect for things to go smoothly? You had to have made that call expecting them cops to do something. Now, luckily, the cops didn't shoot anybody, allegedly. Young Scooter passed away, how he passed away, there's still mystery there. But as far as we know right now, the cops didn't shoot anybody.
Yeah,
but you made the call expecting them to, wanting them to. That's why you juiced up the story to that level.
Came out, bro.
Bro, you put trafficking, you put pimping, bro. You put gunshots, you put hostage situation, bro. You put under, you juiced up the story to this level, bro, to where it was nothing other but violence being expected when them cops pulled up. You were foul. But when the 911 call got released,
it is now.
People recognize her voice instantly because she has done so much dirt in the city that people just know who it was automatically. Now, I got calls. Even before the 911 call became public, I got calls telling me Demi did this. So when the call dropped, it was a no-brainer. Everybody recognized her voice, and word began to spread.
Ain't gonna lie, it just hit me. I just recognized who voice that is calling the police on Young Scooter. It's this whole Demi. Her name on Instagram is @DemiBlanco. Y'all go, hey man, man, her name Demi. She the one pretending to be the neighborhood watch. This hoe ain't no neighborhood watch. This neighborhood ain't even got no neighborhood watch. Man, y'all, man, find this reporter.
She changed her name to try to hide from the public backlash, but people found the new name. I mean, easily, of course. There's links that exist. So she's now trying to get ahead of the story because she realized, her best bet is the police got to get you before Young Scooter folks get you, bruh. So she took to social media to try to explain why what she did was justified. And here is her explanation.
I'm not looking for any type of clout. I just want to put the truth out. The situation is that I was being beaten by an individual that was connected to the person that I'm not going to say the name. And I was there, and the person was continuously beating me as he's already done this before. And me being a female, I was afraid for my life.
So she starts it off intentionally wording it to where you're thinking she's saying that she was getting beat on that day and she made a call by herself. No. Right. So she would say that her and the 15th man on the entourage bench was apparently involved in a toxic relationship that included him just whooping on her. And because he whooped on her at some point in their relationship, she made the call to get him locked up. But what does that have to do with you making a call that day? Again, that
because I was thinking that she could have been a setup to get him set up. It just could have went so many ways that I thought that she ain't trying to say nothing, but we could kind of think people are gonna think that you set the man up. Let me hear what she say on that.
They is the key. I'm not saying this man didn't do her wrong. I'm not saying this man never put his hands on her. And by this man, I mean Young Scooter's homie who was at the crib. What I'm saying is a man, a father, a son, a brother who a lot of people loved is now dead due to your actions and your fake story.
So I did what I thought was the best thing to do. I had no intentions that man was there. I never set anybody up. I never had any intentions that man was there. I never knew that man was there. I had no idea of that man's whereabouts. I'm speaking today to clear my name that I had no intentions to set anybody up. I never set anybody up. I was threatened by individual. There's a reaction for every action. This is part A. You guys didn't have part A. You guys only have part B. And the narrative, it looks like I was trying to set this man up because you guys don't have part B. I'm giving you part B. I'm giving you what led up to the call.
So that's it. That's what she's saying, man. She basically saying that she ain't set him up. She had nothing to do with it. It was all it had nothing to do with her. one eye covered. That's crazy though. But man, R.I.P. to R.I.P. to right TB. R.I.P. to him, man. But I feel bad for the family. Do y'all think she should get charged though? How y'all feel about what should happen to her? Did you see the videos in the Discord? Yeah. You want me to drop? I'm gonna drop one of them in there for you. Y'all been going ham in that Discord, man. I was about to put some land in there. Let me check it out. But man, can they charge her with the can they charge her with like the murder of him? Or no? Man, I'm gonna put the phone line on, but yeah, let me see what we got. TBZ. I appreciate you for putting that in. I did check out. Oh man, Don Jeter went ham in the Okay, I ain't seen all that. But yeah, I see the one what you put with. Y'all been going ham in the group, I see, huh? The Angie Stone sacrifice, huh? We did put that. She joined that crew. She joined that group. She joined the Boule 7 days. Died in a car crash. We're told she had just finished a concert in Mobile, Alabama. People, why the police murdered him? They trying to put it that the girl. She said, why the police murdered him? They trying to put it that the girl, she wrong too, but they shot him. I want to know, like, why they lie? Like, why did they lie and say they didn't? So they said Future did the autopsy. He paid for it, and then they saying that he was shot. But I asked Trail Jackson, I'm like, have you ever heard of anybody falling and dying from a jumping a fence? That just seems too much of a freak accident. Police didn't find what she was saying. We heard her. Right. She intentionally called the police with the false claim, and that is a crime. Right. Was a false crime. But she trying to say it was her. It's crazy, man. Imagine the family, how they feel. Like this woman made this call and just sacrificed my whole, my family. It's deep. But some people were saying that maybe she should get charged. But I don't think she's gonna get charged with that. That's just a little wild. But they said she was in a group. Let me let y'all see this, man. Y'all screwed. Nah, but TBZ, I've been checking that stuff out though, for real. I would go, but I don't got enough. I'm gonna probably have to do one dedicated to that. But man, it's just another. Y'all tap in. Man, it's good to have a whole family in here. We got everybody in here tonight. She put, man, lost his life. Who did it? That's what we're trying to figure out. The police is saying, look, this is what the police is saying. The police is actually saying that they didn't shoot him. But I just kind of find it hard to believe. I ain't know Young Scooter was from South Carolina, though. I just learned that. I thought he was from Atlanta. Shout out to that guy. Let me put this on though. Fam. Yeah, on another show I'm gonna have to go over that those numbers. Cause that'd be crazy. The young scooter in question. So
Tonight, we are learning more about what caused rapper Young Scooter's death. According to a new report from the Fulton County Medical Examiner, the rapper's death has been ruled an accident. The report states Young Scooter, whose real name is Kenneth Bailey, punctured his right thigh, which led to blood loss. Police say Bailey died Friday night after jumping a fence, despite speculation.
I think about it. Yeah, what's Buddy name from Houston? Um, Sauce Walker got shot in the leg, and he ain't bust no artery.
The medical examiner says the injury was not a gunshot wound. Police say they responded to a call about a dispute involving a weapon in Lakewood Heights. They say at some point Bailey ran and jumped a fence. Police are still working to identify the woman who made that initial.
That's what they saying. She put typo felony. She can be charged with a misdemeanor or felony for false report. Walterboro, a real low country boy. Man, he seemed like he just a to himself type of dude. I don't think nobody heard no gunshots at all. It's just hard for me to believe this situation. That's all. It's just I can't fathom.
911 call.
I can't fathom that. No, Willie, we ain't doing Willie. I just can't.
Tonight we are learning more.
I can't see how he would. I can't see how he'd die like that. But yeah, that's it with him, man. R.I.P. to Young Scooter. I know he was a legend out there in South Carolina, but I really thought he was Atlanta. Thought he was A-Town, but it can happen though. My friend got shot when he was a teenager, and she did die. She got shot in the leg, right? That's what I'm saying. But no gunshot. I'm saying like no gunshot is like, dang, it's just hard for me to believe that. But I don't know. But Future Young Thug saying that it was a shot. He did get shot. It wasn't no scratch or no cut. So they still didn't put out video though. They didn't. The officers got body cam. They could just put that body cam out. They didn't put no body cam out. We heard the call before the body cam. Like we could literally see them and see what's going on. And they don't want to play that. I've known cases to where they drop that body cam like a day later because they're confident in it. I don't know why they holding the body cam footage of the police officers for this long. So she put, yeah, he moved to Atlanta. Yeah, man. He was the first one I seen rock that he rocked that American flag. I was like, wow. When I seen that. That's crazy. Yeah, I always appreciated him rocking that flag. But yeah, man, I had to touch up on this stuff today. Y'all smelling the cover up? Yeah, gotta be. Because they would have dropped the body cam. I mean, that's what's gonna tell me everything when I see that body cam. But I don't know why they're not dropping it. Like, why wouldn't you let us see the body cam? He didn't die till he was in the hospital, so they say. So it's like they hiding that body footage, in my opinion. And I think the city gonna uproar about it. I think he was one of them ones where they like, yo, look, they gonna cause hell around here if they find out we had something to do with this. They even said that that young lady's life is in danger. 18 U.S. code, but it is mandatory that they gotta release it. Yeah, they gotta release it, but I mean, I don't like when things take so long. It's just like you remember when I reported on this and they said a shooting, and then it's like after that things can be altered. Like we got AI. It's just like a lot going on, man. Drop that footage the next day so we can get to it. It's just it's so many ways to cover stuff up, man. But that's how it is, man. That's how the police play games. They let you know. Cause when that man in New York got killed by Luigi, whatever his name is, the next day they had all the footage everywhere. We seen the footage the next day, bro. When it come to one of us, it's like they move so slow. Like I want the same treatment, bro, that y'all give these high profile, Greek guys. That footage supposed to be out. So just why I don't trust the police, man. We gotta be able to police ourselves because it's crazy out here. But they're gonna have to drop it. But it's like what they gonna give us. You know what I mean? They're gonna edit it, they're gonna take some stuff out. It's like for real. Yeah, that United Healthcare dude. The same day we seen video. Boom, boom, boom. It's like they don't never do that to one of us. We don't never get the footage the next day. That lady definitely trusts the police. She know how to play on, play on the other side. So when they do trust the police when they giving them information. In other words, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, police yourself so the white man doesn't have to. That's where it comes into play, like what Malcolm said, man. He said we got to be able to have our own land and do it because it ain't gonna work. They come in guns blazing. You seen how the Omegas did that boy in Memphis, Tennessee, man. I forget his name, but even the black police officers, you can't even trust them. She could be a part of the play with the popo. That's what I'm saying. That's why she trying to she could be a part of that play. I'm with you, Racehead, on that. Definitely makes sense. I don't know. It was something about young Scooter, man. Caleb. What you mean, Caleb? Who was Caleb, Miss Mickey? Not Caleb Wilson. Oh yeah, Caleb Wilson. You mean the video for him didn't come out? What you mean by Caleb? It's sad though, man. That boy young Scooter. I always check him out. Trev, that was your favorite. You said young Scooter was like one of your favorite, huh, Trev? That's who you were talking about, right? Caleb. Oh, you talking about the dude in Memphis that died? No, it was a dude. Police officers killed. I forget his name. 3 black police officers killed a black man, and they was all Omega. They was all Boule. Oh, his name was Caleb? I ain't know that. Yeah, he died in Memphis by the police. 3 black dudes. And then the Omega organization, after they get charged, they're gonna drop them. Like, oh, they ain't Omegas no more. Like, bro, y'all do this kind of pain and punishment to people to bring them in the game. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what it was. He probably was getting initiated. Caleb that died in yeah. I think they're trying to use her to distract us from I think they're trying to use us to distract us from what they did. It's easy to get mad at a black woman. Y'all ain't going to want to talk about that though. Yeah, it's not really. I don't want to just get mad at her. It's like, damn, the death that came behind it. But we said we don't want to talk about that though. Man, it's black men too, man. Black men do some wild things too. Denounce them, yep. As a retired pharmaceutical salesman, I could relate to Scooter. For real. He was relatable, bro. He was definitely relatable. I can tell you that. I mean, if she really got abused like that, but if it was just like a complete lie, damn. If nobody wouldn't have died behind it, you know what I'm saying? I think it wouldn't have been to that degree. People lie on people with the police all the time. Men do that. All right. I got you. What was his name? The Memphis. That's crazy. His name was Caleb though. Memphis police. Because they got sentenced. Memphis police killed Caleb. I ain't know his name was Caleb, bro. No, it was Tyree Nichols, bro. Let me get along with him.
Memphis police officer is off the job in connection to the death of Tyree Nichols. MPD confirming to me this morning that they relieved Officer Preston Hemphill of duty at the start of this investigation over 3 weeks ago, but they never released his name along with the other officers.
Now, MPD has not confirmed Hemphill's role in the traffic stop, but they did tell us this is an ongoing investigation. We're also not sure if he also faces any charges, but Hemphill's lawyer, Lee.
See, these are the guys. My left is please Q Dog. Let me put Q Dog. Omegas. I'm trying to see. See what you got. Okay. Not now. Dang, I can't get to it though, Trey. You just sent it to me too. Let me see. It's Tyree Nichols. Yeah, Tyree. Let me see. I'm like, sent it to me too, but I can't pull it through here. They just got sentenced. Memphis police. What was it? It was 5. I think it was 5 of them. They
Are you sure your tax expert is right for you? Switch to TurboTax Full Service. You'll be matched with a TurboTax expert and get real-time updates on their progress, and you get your best outcome guaranteed. Switch to TurboTax Full Service.
Federal grand jury has indicted 5 former Memphis police officers in the death of Tyree Nichols. Today, a U.S. District Court in Memphis charged all 5 with violating Nichols' civil rights. The indictment includes charges related to deprivation of rights under the color of law, excessive
see what you
force,
said.
conspiracy to witness tampering, and obstruction of justice through witness tampering. The officers are also fighting state charges in the beating of Nichols during the January 7th.
I'm gonna put yours on here, Trail. Dang, he got the Trail. You sent me the video, like the real footage. They say this may contain graphic. I got you. Hold on. They said this video may contain graphic video appears Tyree Nichols. Now they supposed to be giving them. They were supposed to be giving them that sentence.
We have the second clip now released by the city of Memphis ready to go. We want to give you another warning. This video apparently is the most graphic and the most shocking to watch. Also, again, we want to give a warning. There are likely lots of profanities. This is, from what we understand, the Sky Cop cam video, which is a pole cam looking down at the arrest and subsequent beatdown.
Q-Dogs. The Qs. This how the Qs get down. On another black man too, though, bro. Like, that's crazy to be a police officer. For real, they be playing like.
So I'm being told by our producers, again, we're watching this in real time, that there's no audio on this, but you do not need to listen to this because what we are seeing here is kick after kick. It looks like in the direction of Tyree Nichols' head. I was just at that intersection earlier tonight, and believe it or not, it is 3 houses away from where Tyree Nichols' parents live. He was running in the direction of his parents' house. This overhead camera here, it's called Sky Cop, and they're all around. Oh, and it looks like an officer here has a baton. Looks like they're holding him up. Oh, man.
Yeah, that's sad, bro. It's sad, bro. Yeah, we can't. It's like, dang. And the white man, black.
The family described this video. They are literally holding him up. Oh.
And they'll put our stuff on, like, our trauma, bro, get right on TV.
There's some violent punches being thrown. He's literally being held up and beaten with a baton.
They would have
fists.
If I would have been able to see this, bro, they would have had to take me in, bro. I can't let them.
I can count 4 officers on the scene right here. He does not appear at all to be resisting arrest. In fact, he appears to be lifeless at this point.
This was a ritual.
An officer now on top of him, on his back, it appears.
This was a ritual, man.
Looks like another responding unit is in the area. Again, this is 3 houses away from where his parents live. We cannot escape that
come
fact.
out the door?
This video coming from a camera they call Sky Cop here in Memphis. It's attached to an electricity pole right above the neighborhood where his parents lived. It looked like another officer just came in and now kickstart once again. I have 2 Memphis City Council members with me here. that have joined Top Story tonight. I thank you for your time. And I know it's not easy to come and speak on a live broadcast like this as we're watching this video in real time.
But this is what we gotta, this is what the police be behind the scenes. He was steps away from his parents' home. I'm saying, why didn't nobody come outside right here? Castlegate Lane. I'm just saying, nobody ain't come outside. I know y'all heard that. It's like, dang, bro. Anytime you get pulled over, they gotta set these plays up, bro. Because of the media too. This is why I feel like that race here. Because of the media, they market it so much. It's like, just like the movies, man. I think they gotta market us this death, bro. They gotta let us see it. They gotta let us go through it, or we gonna take over. Gotta traumatize us, just like they do with these fraternities. And right below the Skycop camera, yeah, like how they got that camera like that, right? Like it's like seeing everything at that spot. It's like they be knowing what they be doing. Right, it's like regular stuff in Memphis. It's so crazy up there. They doing it to desensitize. It gotta be a reason why they. I never really think low of fraternities or sororities, but when you have issues like this constantly happen, I have to question myself. Yeah. And the Q dogs be the main ones, bro. Like if you look at all of the deaths that happen, it's mainly the Omegas. I ain't gonna say mainly, I'm saying like they put in a lot of work. But yeah, man, it's sad, y'all. Sad, man. But look, y'all know how we gonna do. Keep pushing. They doing it to incentivize us. Majority more than not is mainly. Yeah. Yeah, like how they catch like right up under the Skycam camera. I know they
How
smart enough
disappointing
not.
is this?
Yeah, it's hard to put words to it, but the lack of regard for humanity and the sanctity of life. These are the men and women that are entrusted to protect our community, and they're well trained, and they exercise incredibly poor judgment would be an understatement.
I think.
No, they had to kill that man, bro. This was set up. They had to do that. It was probably that, or they was probably gonna face something. Because it was 3 black Omegas. So that's the secret. Like that's how they can. I think this is how they can get that message out. It's like it has to be through some secret group, bro. We pinning it all together with it, but salute, condolences to that man's family. But it makes sense when you see that all of them was. I want to show y'all like that there was Omegas, and then they had took them off. No, they took them off of being Omegas. No, they ain't doing that. Omega deaths. So Omega been killing people for a minute. Initiation. Shout out to Caleb though. Hmm. It's just sad, man. Damn Omegas, man. And this was the same thing. It's like another 3 people. How many Omegas was it? I think it was 3 Omegas the last time. It's 3 Omegas this time. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. But the double cross. I know you sent me that, Trev. The double cross with old Sauce Walker. A lot of people saying this was ritual. Did T Beezy, did you put something? Did they drop something on that? Sauce Walker. Oh, my bad, man. Check this out. Sauce Walker.
Check it out. At Planet Fitness, you can get free fitness training.
We're mixing it up.
We're not slowing down. I'm checking my form.
55 lifting 70.
Right.
Come in. Save $28 or more when you join for just $1 down. 15.
Totality
New
of them
details
on
in the
Google.
downtown shooting
Right, let me look it
near
up.
FedEx Forum that killed Memphis rapper Saso P and injured Houston rapper Sauce Walker. Memphis police say murder suspect Jaden Dandridge was found dead in Houston. The warrant for his arrest is now canceled. Police are now searching for 22-year-old Kevin Brown, who's been charged with murder and other crimes. The shooting happened March 22nd outside the Westin Hotel. Anyone with information on Brown's whereabouts should call Crime Stoppers at 901-528-CASH.
You're right. Yeah, I found it. Yeah, he was found dead. Check this out. Now, ain't this crazy though? It's 3 police officers that was Omega. Right? Where they at? Where they picture that? And then it's another 3 Omegas that was in Caleb Wilson. Y'all get what I'm saying? It was 2 is both times it was 3 Omegas. You think that has something to do with it? It was 3 for Tyree Nichols and it was 3 Omegas for and you know how they is about that number. That 9 number. There's 9 people here too. But check this out. It says David Allen Brown plans to leave Las Vegas after attending a Deli concert. His daughter's 25th birthday next week. Catch a midnight flight to Chicago, where he will hop on another plane to Richmond, Virginia, to attend the funeral of a friend and fellow Omega Sci-Fi brother. But that's what Omega taught me, said Brown, who was initiated into the fraternity 40 years ago at Norfolk State University. Pi Gamma chapter, brotherhood, manhood, respect. Not what you've heard about and seen from the tragedy in Memphis. 3 of the 5 officers who were arrested and charged with second-degree murder after the fatal beating of Tyree Nichols were Qs, the nickname for Omega Psi Phi members, a national black fraternity founded in 1911 at Howard University. The National Greek Letter Organization announced in a statement that it had revoked the membership of the 3 officers, whom it did not name. The Memphis Council appeal identified them as Tadarius Ben, who has been president of his chapter at the University of Mississippi, Emmett Martin, and Desmond Mills. A few days ago, on behalf of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, we join with all other caring, thoughtful, decent, and fair-minded people in America and around the world in extending our deepest sympathy to the family of Tyre Nichols. So, dang, what the video showed was not Omega. I've always looked at Omega men as being leaders and leaders. This was a hit, man. I believe this was a hit. It was 3 at Angie Stone's funeral doing that ritual. 369. The goose drank the wine. That's how they rock. 3 is another divine number they use. That's crazy. That is crazy. But y'all remember I showed y'all what Bobby Hemmett said. He said with that MK Ultra, they could just make a phone call. Nah, they ain't get sentenced yet. That they could just make a phone call and pretty much a death could be committed. So that's crazy. But check this out. The Omega president. I ain't gonna say president, but they call it something else. Check this out. It says Count Basil. They normally give you like the names. These are college presidents. These are the people that's in entertainment. Bill Cosby, Steve Harvey. Terrence J. Dang, they do y'all like that. Tom Joyner. Ricky Smiley. Huh? Okay. He's a Delta. They got him in military, politics. Jesse Jackson Jr. Man, you got your son in there, Jesse. This is crazy, bro. It started in Howard. Will y'all send one of your children to a HBCU? No. I went to a HBCU and it ain't right, bro. And it's expensive as hell. You said you had no idea. It was sidebar. I wonder what is that scientist? What's his name? Tyson. I want to know if he's a secret. Look at all these guys, man. It's like you can't run away from them. Michael Jordan. Ray Lewis. That's how he got off that body. Shaq. Sick, man. Sick, man. They got us in every angle, man. They got all of the upscale people they got. In the military, entertainment, college presidents, business. It's crazy, man. I did, but he didn't join. Now let's look at if you go to any of them, right? Even if you go to Divine Nine, now like you said with Angie Stone, how they do her like that? Alpha Kappa. They ain't naming us. This the woman. Y'all think they would lie and probably put some people on here that's not like it's more sellout FBAs than real ones. If you want to change anything, let me shut up. What 3 singers? I don't remember the 3 singers, but my thing is, this is crazy. Yeah, the Greek life, man. I know Delta. That's what is the one that what's her name is under? I think it's Zeta. Yeah. This is the one that Angie Stone is under. 5 Pearls. Howard University. Dang. Following February 5th, 2006, news report WJ ABC affiliate TV station based out of DC, U.S. Internal Revenue Service, Federal Bureau of Investigations. United States Attorney opened an investigation into financial irregularities occurring with the sorority's national president, Barbara C. Moore, sorority member, and the national executive board member, Natasha Stark, was the whistleblower who notified WJLA of the president's wrongdoing. Moore admitted to using the sorority funds for personal expenses such as clothes, shoes, jewelry, food, liquor, etc., but disputed the figures reported by the WJLA. Despite her admission, the sorority board directors refused to remove her from office, defying organization by laws, attempted to suppress information reported by WJLA, and refused to fully cooperate with the FBI and IRS. The sorority's board of directors initially tried to resolve the matter privately by asking the president to sign a promissory note to repay over $300,000 of sorority funds, used some personal expenses back to sorority, but the dissatisfied Stark. The purpose of the investigation was to determine if the president had obtained funds from the tax-exempt organization for personal gain, which violated IRS codes. In retaliation for contacting WJLA, Stark was expelled for violating her duty and loyalty to the sorority, engaging in conduct injurious to the sorority of its purpose and unsisterly conduct. On March 20th, 2007, Stark filed a lawsuit with the District Columbia District Court requesting $1 million in damages. Stark claims for breach of contract and negligence were dismissed in a September 11, 2008 status conference. Entertainer Cheryl Underwood was elected as the 23rd International Grand Bacillus president during the sorority's biennial business meeting in Las Vegas. So it's been a lot of little drama now. I'm finna get to this drama real quick. But yeah, Angie was a beta. Let's see all of this crazy stuff that happens. Check this out. In 2011, the chapter at the University of Maryland College Park was placed under heavy scrutiny when a former pledge reported to authorities the serious abuse she endured from members of the organization. 7 members of the chapter were arrested for assault. Why we ain't never hear about that? In 2012, a student at the University of California, Berkeley, sued the sorority after experiencing hazing so disturbing and humiliating that she dropped out of school. In her lawsuit, she stated she had her head slammed into a wall, her pockets ripped from her jeans, was beat over the head while being forced to recite the sorority's history, forced to clean up the juice with only her back, and was subject to other illegal hazing activities. In 2014, the chapter at the University of Memphis was given a 3-year suspension for physically abusing, harassing pledges. One pledge's nose was broken after being repeatedly hit in the face by several Zetas. 2 Zetas identified in the police report as being extremely abusive toward pledges dropped out of the university soon after suspension was announced. Dang, they got a lot of problems, bro. They be going in. It's crazy. What you put? Delta, the 4th letter of the Greek alphabet. In 2016, WUSA 9 has learned Amir Tyson, 18, is an AU freshman and was among the hundreds of who packed the house off Massachusetts. Said they come for your kids, huh? Yeah, man, they coming for them. Everyone probably got that. Let's look at another one, the Deltas. That's a sorority. Scandals and misconduct. So this goes all the way to, we're going to look at the one in 2021. Now this is weird. They support World AIDS Day. But check this out. This one is in 2021, embezzlement. On April 20th, 2021, former executive director and member of Janie Henderson Arnett and her husband, Diallo Arnett, pleaded guilty in federal court to embezzling more than $200,000 from Delta Sigma Theta. Due to the gravity of the crime, Jeannie Henderson Arnett was expelled from the organization when the sorority discovered the misappropriated money and reported the crime. News reports indicate that the couple spent the money on items like designer Coach handbags, rental cars, real estate, Amazon purchases, and other expenses in 2017, 2019. Federal prosecutors also determined that over 14,000 had been transferred to their personal bank account. Channing Phillips, acting U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, said that in a press release, while Delta Sigma Theta and its members were committed to a mission of public service, they don't do no damn public service. The defendants were committed to a mission of personal benefit, stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars to use for their pleasure. That's what they do. In November 2021, Jeannie was sentenced to 16 months in prison, and her husband, Diallo, was sentenced to 12 months and 1 day in prison. They must collectively pay $28,000 in fines and will be placed on 5 years supervised release after their prison sentence. Got a lot of stuff going on in these fraternities, man. A lot of craziness. Delta, the fourth leader, is just that's the deltas. Let's look at another one. Phi Beta. Let's look at you guys. Oh, they don't want to give no bad stuff on them. They don't got nothing like the other ones. They'll have like any problems that they have. Hazing controversies. Yeah. So we see it's a lot of money, it's a lot of embezzlement going on with these groups. It's like you paying them to do all kind of corporation philanthropy. Yeah, some of them they don't want that out. But that's the Divine Nine. Let's see what the Alpha Phi Alpha got. Embezzlement and hazing. In 2020, got bail, fraternity member and treasurer of the Baltimore Citywide Graduate Chapter, was sentenced for stealing $56,678 from the chapter between 2013 and 2016 to help cover personal debt. Man, these people be hurting for real. The chapter was behind the rent payments and other important financial obligations. Bail was sentenced to 6 months of home detention, 5 years probation, and must pay back the $51,000 in restitution. Yep, and they all got hazing issues, lawsuits. Wow. Let's go to the most recent and go down. 2021, a chapter at Southern University. Baton Rouge was placed on suspension after 2 students were hospitalized due to hazing. Mississippi was suspended for 3 years due to university-wide investigation on Greek hazing. Bro, it's like every year. 2018, Tyler Hiller, a student from University of California in Riverside, died while pledging the fraternity. Tyler went with other pledges and members of the fraternity to Mount Rubidoux, where the ambulance was called to pick him up and take him to the hospital before his death. Authorities found convincing evidence that the hazing was the reason of his death. Charges were expected to be filed against several members of the fraternity following the investigation, but no charges. Virginia Tech University banned the fraternity until 2026 for misconduct and several abusing pledges. One known pledge was hospitalized due to beatings it endured, although the decision was later reversed. The fraternity was allowed to return to campus in 2021. This is crazy. I got to do a video on some of this. Bradley Doyley, a senior and basketball player at Buffalo State College, was pronounced dead, allegedly of hazing-related pledging ritual on January 29, 2016. Family and friends reported that Doyley was asked to drink an unidentified toxic cocktail off campus by members of the Alfalfa that caused him to suddenly vomit blood. Doyle was taken to a local hospital for emergency surgery. He later died. The college suspended the chapter connected to the death, reported published, citing a preliminary autopsy. An unnamed police source stated that there is no evidence of hazing in the death last week. That's foul, bro. The University of Tennessee Knoxville suspended the fraternity for paddling and pouring hot sauce on genitals of pledges. See this crap? See this crap, bro. How much stuff we going through. 2014, 6 alpha men at the University of Akron were arrested and charged with assault for severely beaten pledges. One known pledge was hospitalized due to excessive bleeding. In 2014, a $3 million lawsuit was filed against a fraternity by a former pledge who was subject to humiliation and abuse while pledging at Bowie State University. 4 Alpha Phi Alpha members were arrested and pleaded guilty for several beating pledges. Dang, this is like every year. 15 Alfalfa members pleaded guilty to reckless endangerment charges arising from off-campus hazing at Jacksonville State University, in which pledges were beaten, humiliated. It's the same thing happening every year. 2011, Emory University suspended the fraternity for 4 years due to several hazing violations. It's like this happens every year. In 2003, a 21-year-old pledge at Southern Methodist University went into a coma after being coerced to drink large amounts of water in an Alpha Phi Alpha initiation ritual. The chapter was temporarily expelled from campus, and 8 Alpha members were indicted on felony aggravated assault charges. Dang, this is just death after deaths after deaths. And they ain't talking about just one. But man, I'm mad. I sent you down this rabbit hole. Yeah, now it's like it's so many that we don't even know about. The ones that they put on TV is just like that's just like a tip of the iceberg. We talking about every year here. Hey, I gotta walk my dog. Not bad. I don't know where I went. Right, I don't know. No, I ain't. Yeah, I do gotta walk my dog, but yeah, man, I'm gonna have to do some videos on this stuff, y'all. I'm gonna get probably one of the best stories. Look through some of this stuff and get some of the best stories. But yeah, Mickey, you brought me down that rabbit hole. Now I gotta expose some of this stuff. I'm gonna try to get some of the biggest ones though, but I'm gonna go through that and Jada Pickett. So you mean everybody tied in? We probably don't have no regular person that's not. That's what I want to know. Who is the regular people? Night too busy. Yeah, man. This was good tonight, y'all. We was able to, anytime we able to vibe with the family, it's always good. No trail on that road. But yeah, I'm gonna try to put some of this stuff together, man, and see if I can put one of the most interesting ones, and the severe ones. Those are all honorary members. Yeah, because they be like made or paper. If you paper, that's like you ain't had to get beat up. Can't believe Jada Pinkett Smith is well one of them things. But yeah, I appreciate y'all tapping in with me. I'm still hungry about Miss Mickey talking about those cheesy potatoes. I mean that cheesy broccoli and the potato. Like you had a full course meal there. But watch your back when you do. Man, they already on our head top. There's so much of us out here now exposing this stuff. They got so many people that's denouncing that I'm the least of their worries. But it is public information. She put my bad. For real, I'm thinking about cheesy broccoli and mashed potatoes right now, man. I need to get me something to fill my belly. But man, I appreciate y'all tapping in. We definitely gonna link in tomorrow. We'll see. I'm gonna probably drop something tomorrow, man. I like vibing with y'all. Is Will Holly weird? He might be. But definitely, we're gonna stay in that chat though and keep everything going. Salute Trail, salute Racehead, Miss Mickey Cat. We got Miss Musical Physique. Shout out to you. Who else we had tapped in today? We had everybody tonight. Des, I appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. Full course meal. Dance it off with the boots on the ground. For real, for real. Respect to the family, man. Y'all know it's always good when we link. So we gonna link tomorrow, man, and chop it up some more. Hopefully I got some good little stories for y'all. If not, we'll do it Thursday. But y'all know we do our big finale on that Sunday, man. You can't miss that one. But love y'all, appreciate y'all, respect. Let's keep this momentum going, and y'all know how we do. Health, wealth, better understanding the self. Giving praise to the Most High. Cheer!